Hello, and thank you for joining me on my reselling channel, Flippin Hippos. I'm Star. Today we're going to take a look at the February seller news from eBay. There wasn't a lot in this month's update, but there was something that has the potential to be pretty exciting. So let me share my screen with you. Go over here to seller news. I will put the link to this in the description box so you can click on it and go back and read it word for yourself. I'm just going to hit some highlights here. There's going to be new seller webinars. That's the potentially exciting thing. You're going to learn about selling tools and strategies. The webinar series are going to be free series. The webinars will be free. You're going to learn stuff. And then over here on the other side, it says grow your business. Remember to apply for the Circular Fashion Fund for a chance to receive funding and mentorship. So if you are in a position where you want to grow your business, but you're not financially in the position to do that, apply for this. The worst thing that can happen is they tell you no. The best thing that can happen is you can get some funding if you need it. So take advantage of the things that are being offered to you if you're trying to grow your business. And then they have this 2025 Recommerce report, which is to find out how the resale market is changing the way people shop. We're going to take a peek at that, and then we'll talk more about these webinar series. So this is the Recommerce report. It's pretty neat. So like I said, I'll put the link for you, and I suggest going in and looking at this completely word for word. It is pretty darn cool. But the highlight is that 89% of consumers expect to spend the same amount or more on pre-loved goods in 2025. So 89% of folks are going to continue to buy or buy more used clothing, which is what most of us sell, or used items in general, or pre-loved if you want to be bougie about it. 59% of Gen Z are more likely to boost their spending on pre-loved goods. And this is why it's important to be up on the trends and the fashions. A lot of what we should be aiming our efforts towards is Gen Z. That's not to say you can't have other stuff, because Gen Z aren't the only ones shopping. 56% of millennials are shopping. But Gen X, my generation, we shop online too. And we're not only shopping for ourselves, we might be shopping for our parents or grandparents who are boomers. And all of these generations have different styles, wear different items, like different types of clothing, like different brands. So I've always said it's important to have a lot of everything. But if you want to diverse down and be fashion forward, you can focus on what's trending with the Gen Z kids right now. I can call them kids because I'm a Gen X old fart, but everyone is different. So I always try to have stuff in there for everyone from my grandmother down to a teenager. But I like to also know what's going on in the trends. So that's important too. And 35% of consumers in general buy used items monthly or more often. It is becoming fashionable to get away from the fast fashion, to become more sustainable. And it's actually trending and popular for folks to wear vintage clothing, used clothing. I feel like there was a point in my life when if you shopped at the thrift store, you might have been made fun of and told you were poor. I'm sure a lot of Gen X remembers that. But now it's like, oh, I went to the thrift store and got this, I wear my granddad's clothes. You remember that song? It's cool now. So keep that in mind, that more of the world is buying pre-loved items and being sustainable and keeping things out of the landfill. All of that is so super important as we move forward. We've all got these new AI tools, as Jamie says here, and it's just a good time. It's a really good time to be a reseller. I fully believe it is a really good time for us to be resellers. A little bit of information about the seller webinar series. It's eBay's new eBay for Sellers webinar series, a source for timely topics and real world tactics. Each live session dives deep into a single topic with content tailored for new and established sellers. It will be hosted monthly at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. It is free to attend, but you must register. So if you're interested, make sure you register, even though it's free. And they have the first two here for us to look at in February. In February, they're going to have an advertising strategies for sellers. Explore advanced ways to improve your visibility and performance using eBay's advertising solutions. Now, I personally am not interested in that because I feel like that's going to be a real big push for them to defend and promote their new promotion, the way they're collecting their promoted ads. I'm not a fan of that. I've not made a secret of it. I've been on other channels talking about it. I'm not interested in them telling me how I can use their promoted listings for them to make more money. That's how I feel. But if you don't feel that way and you're interested in this, go. And you know what? I don't know if it shows it here. It does not. So one of my favorite people speaking was O'Kane. I might actually poke my head in just to see what she has to say, because I do like her. And I've actually met her in person. I've been on panels with her. I consider her a friend, and I think she has a lot of good stuff to say. So now, where did we go? Okay, so the store enhancements in AI is for March. That one I'm interested in. Even though I use List Perfectly as AI, I might still learn something about AI. So you can register about that here. They're going to explore ways to develop a stronger store brand presence on eBay with store features and how AI tools can help elevate. And then if you click on this over here, you can see that they have no topic for April, but they're saved the date. The spring seller check-in already. Wow, May. And they have all the save the dates. And then they have all the information about February's down here. And again, you should register if you want to go. I think you can pre-register for all of them. If you're someone like me that wants to fill out your calendar for the whole year. Yeah, you would just click which ones you want to register for. So you could even say sign up for all events. If you sign up for all the events, I mean, that's probably the way to do it. And then you would get email updates and always be reminded of when they're happening. I would personally go through this list and write each one of these dates and times in my planner, and then hit continue and then go from there. I'm actually probably going to do that now that I've mentioned it to you. You're not locked in. You don't have to go. You just register, get yourself in there. You'll get reminders. If the day comes and you can't make it, that's fine. You're not going to be penalized, but at least you've registered. So those are the webinars. I'm actually pretty interested to see what topics they're going to come out with. I'm sure there will be plenty that I go to, and then there might be some that I might skip, and that's okay. Just go to what would benefit you in your business and applies to you in your business. If they're doing stuff that doesn't apply to you, don't go. I'll put the link down there. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps me feed my hungry hippos. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.